So Travis, if you want to kick it off.
Yeah, let's do this. And what James didn't say was that he's got a brand new baby at home. And so when we were talking, congratulations, James. We were talking, I was like, James, let me take that opening off of your plate, because I have a new baby at home too, but I'm about 3 months ahead of you. So I got some rest last night. So anyway, I see a lot of familiar faces on this call. For those of you that don't know, Michael Thielen, formerly the CTO and CMO of Beverly Hanks for 18 years, very well-renowned, leading our brokerage, is here with me as well. I'm going to give you guys a couple insights into some trends that we're seeing at T3 that I think you could take back, and some of you may be doing this better than others, but I think all of you could probably even use a little reminder here in this area. But one of the things that we've seen recently, we've done a bunch of technology audits for brokerages, many traditional brokerages with great brands, a lot of Sotheby's brands we've done in the last couple of months. And we found a couple areas that really stood out that traditional brokerages did not have a good handle on. And yet, when we got behind the curtain and we looked at all the business processes and the technology tools, we saw that many of them were actually excelling in a couple areas of their business, but not telling their story very well. And so this perception versus reality became a realization for us that we said, wow, this is a major trend that's happening. And it started in Chicago. We analyzed a huge firm and we said, man, you're doing a lot of stuff, but you're not really telling your story very well. And then we saw it in Tahoe and other parts of the industry. And so the major trend that we're seeing and the major focus is going to be a focus on coordination. So coordination is a buzzword that we're seeing. It's going to be a hottest trend in real estate in the next 5 years. And it's not just like transaction coordination. It actually is 4 major buckets. You've got inside sales coordination, marketing coordination, listing coordination, and transaction coordination. And how you're coordinating the disparate functionalities or business processes in those 4 areas will be something that will stand apart from just offering technology. And I'll give an example. We went into a brokerage that is doing a lot of marketing for their agents, a very well-respected brokerage. And we basically said, you're doing so much, but you're doing it all manually. You're duct taping it all together. And as a result, you're spending more time putting out fires than you are investing in this area that you could be telling this huge story around. So marketing coordination was one of their hot buttons when we did a tech audit with them. And we helped them reimagine how their marketing team interacted with Maxa and how they can maximize their relationship with Maxa. And so obviously all you guys being Maxa clients, that's probably music to your ears too, is how can you take more advantage of something you've already invested in that is a leading platform in the space. So that was one thing that we're seeing. The other thing that we started to see was from a listing coordination perspective. We documented 75 processes from pre-listing to offer management that a traditional brokerage does. And that's a lot of moving parts. And when we actually dove into how many of those moving parts are done manually versus what systems, there was a lot to unpack there. And so one of the things I'm going to give you guys as a bonus today, courtesy of Maxa, he's agreed to make this happen, is that workflow, 75 business processes in the listing coordination funnel. We're going to give you a copy of that today. And that'll be a nice takeaway that you guys can actually sit down at your business and go, what do we actually do at our business? And how much of this stuff do we do that could be actually, we could tell a story around this. So the takeaway here is kind of passing it back to James. Hot buzzword for more traditional brokerages is marketing coordination, listing coordination, 2 big buckets that a lot of you may do more than you actually realize. And how do you tell that story better and package it up so your agents see a little more full service approach to your business? So James, back to you.
That's really, really cool. You know, when I thought about that being a kind of a sale, especially for everyone in this group, where sometimes we get brought in those recruiting meetings and we're looking at what's our big value offer to an agent. And then we go and we emphasize our ability to support their marketing coordination, their listing coordination, transaction coordination, and then showing them a plan, like that step-by-step plan of what we do different from, you know, other brokerages around. That's pretty neat. I love that. Making it a big word to emphasize. I'm curious for someone like, oh gosh, I mean, I think about like Remington. Okay, so you've got 2,000 agents plus. Are you guys focusing? Are you able to manage some type of like coordinating or listing or marketing coordinating for them at this point with your guys' size?
We are, and it feels like we've only just now been able to really finally do that. The office staff now plays a major role in that, in just facilitating what I would call low involvement requests for the agents. And then obviously the agents really for the first time now have the ability to do it totally independent of the marketing department or the office services in general.
Yeah, because you guys, I mean, I think you and Mike and Randall, right? Even Randall coming from Michael Saunders, was that like we do it for you type brokerage. Like that was like the big sell of Michael Saunders. But even like, I'm just curious, do you guys have like a step-by-step coordination plan? Or is it kind of ask us if you need us, ask us for help if you need us? What's your guys's approach to it?
For the marketing department, we strive to really only be involved in high involvement stuff, and whether that's a, you know, super spectacular high-end listing that needs extra attention, or it's something that just has a lot of moving pieces to it. Certain digital products or kind of complete campaign type products will spend a lot of time hand-holding. But things like, you know, just listed postcards, brochures for the average listing, stuff like that, that's really all handled now either at the agent level or the office level. And the amount of time that has been freed up just cannot be understated, just for my department, for the creative team, for everybody. We're able to do things now for what feels like really the first time and actually produce kind of competent full circle campaigns for all three of the brands that we manage.
I think that's one of the biggest things that Travis and I have seen, in addition to the coordination, is the freeing up of resources. You know, a lot of brokerages are focused on profitability right now from either direction. And so if they can either do more with, you know, more with less, which is what I hear Remington say, or, you know, become more sophisticated with their marketing, that's just freeing that up. So as you're thinking about it, that's another way to think about it, is how can we free up those resources to be used in other more compelling ways that might generate more value. So it's just another piece of that.
And what about for Pam? You have, you know, you guys have about 300 agents, super boutique, beautiful brand. What are you guys doing? What about coordinating? Do you guys do it for them right now? Or I remember your process.
You know,
it's
yeah,
very strict. So
it's a very strange process, but I will tell you this: since we partnered with you guys, we have done a complete 180 on our process. And I actually thank Artin for that, because he asked a lot of tough questions as we were going through the onboarding process with you guys. And it made us go back to my leadership team and say, okay, you know, we've been around for 15 years. We're a boutique firm in New York City, in Manhattan. We have 300 agents that they own their own business, but why have we been treating them for the last 13 to 15 years as though they literally can do nothing without having to use marketing, in the sense where they panic and can't do anything on their own? They can't do an email signature. They can't send a postcard. They can't do a listing pitch. Everything was needy. And going through that process with you guys last summer, because we just recently launched Maxa, It's a whole new world for the agents, and they're all looking at me like, you evil marketing person. But I promise them, and some of our very high GCI agents are seeing it. It's their business. We're providing the tool so that when you come to marketing, we're now here to help you build big picture strategies, marketing plans, the big pieces to help you take your business to the next level. You don't need a senior marketing manager to help you pick a photo for your postcard. And so we've made that switch. It sounds very similar to Remington, where we were like, this is your business, you need to own it. We're going to provide you what we call Elegant Creative Studio, aka Maxa. We're going to provide you the Elegant Creative Studio. You're going to get all the things you need. And then when you need one of our senior managers or our marketing manager, now you're going to set up a time and you're going to talk about, let's talk, like we've been hitting our agents right now. You need to be contacting us about the fall market. Spring is over in Manhattan. So where are you guys right now? And what are you doing in the next 60 to 90 days? So very similar to what Michael said, we actually switched our processes and switched the way the marketing department functions over the last 6 months, and has taken more of a strategic approach and used Elegant Creative Studio as the doer for us. And it's just a better way. I mean, I have smart marketing managers. They're not admins, but we've been treating them putting them in that admin role, which is wasted, that's just wasted resources in our world. So yeah, we've been thrilled with it because this process and coming on board with you guys actually made us change our business model in the marketing department.
Wow, that was always my secret intent. I'll tell you that. Like, I always wish for that. Like, even for Michael Saunders too. Like, Randall, you guys have such a big team. You do it for them. In my secret brain, I'm always like, oh, I hope that they kind of reposition. Which then we had lunch at Leading RE, and you told me all new agents, you're kind of just gonna give them the tool and then help them coordinate from there instead of doing it all for them. I love that. Okay, so let's go into some questions. I am kind of curious. I could dive into coordinating forever because I do feel like Travis and Michael have a real kind of like trend idea of like, oh, okay, how do we push that really popular word right now into your guys' recruiting efforts or your just agent efforts? But let's move into the questions we emailed you guys yesterday. Luke, awesome. I'm not sure if you guys know Luke. He's been with us for over a year now, doing a lot of really cool marketing for us.
I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have spoken to a couple of you people on this call, and I'm sure I will get to speak to the rest of you individually. We have a client interview that we publish on our website, so I'm going to hunt you all down if you haven't done it already. I know Remington and Taylor has so far. Thank you both. Sorry, James, to interrupt.
No, that's awesome. And so we came up with some great questions to talk about that I think are powerful, because I'm always curious what everyone else has to say about it. And then it's, well, how do I remix what everyone's doing into my own custom process? And so we'll kind of, when we ask these questions, I'm going to just pick blindly, kind of knowing your guys' system and then knowing what you could share with everyone. But when you share, please feel welcome to introduce yourself and your brokerage that you're from, your favorite thing about the brand, and then we'll go from there. So the first question is, what are your go-to marketing hacks to help your internal team or agents at your brokerage? We'll kick it off with...
Yeah, James, I was just going to say, I have a couple of notes from what everybody gave us feedback with, which is incredible. So if you want to pick somebody, and then I'd love to ask some questions about what some of the feedback we got.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So you pick the person then, because you probably have good answers.
Well, Karina, I really love that you said about Marketing Monday and workshops. Can you elaborate a bit more about that so everyone could hear?
What brokerage you're from?
Sure. So I'm Karina. Lots of new faces for me today. We're pretty new to Maxa, but I'm with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Beach Properties of Florida. So we have about 265 agents. We're down in the Florida Panhandle. It's like the Northwest Florida region that we're serving from. You might not have heard of any of these places because they're small little beach towns, but from St. George Island through Destin over to Pensacola, if you've ever heard of those. my favorite thing about our brand is probably that we sell the beach. So it's always fun, and it's always, I have some of our team coming in to listen too, but it's just a great market to sell, keeps things interesting for sure. Tim is our videographer who just hopped in with me now. He actually helps make Marketing Mondays happen. So basically what we do is we have tons of different topics that our agents might want help on. So we do a Marketing Monday series where we teach them how to do, it's pretty much just tutorials. It's how-to videos on different topics. So since having Maxa, we've done how to create an email signature, how to create a brochure, basically the very bare minimum, just giving them the basics so that they can be more self-sufficient. A couple of y'all were mentioning just the freedom that you have on relying in the platform. And I think we have already felt that for sure, because we have definitely taken a lot of our time working on the tiny projects all the way up to the big ones. So Maxa has helped us just be more efficient, and kind of, we're not focusing on the open house flyers and things like that. We're just focusing on bigger things. But our agents love tutorials. They love hand holding. So Marketing Monday series have just allowed us to kind of put that in their hands so that they can practice on their own time and get comfortable with those things.
That's very cool. I love that.
Awesome, Karina.
Right. Well, actually, both Randall and Ashley, you mentioned a similar thing. So if we want to start real quick, Randall, if you want to just introduce yourself, and then I'd love to ask what you both said.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Randall Graham, Chief Marketing Officer at Michael Saunders, and I take offense that Remington said they're finally getting to do good work, because we did really great work. Yeah, my favorite thing about Michael Saunders brand, funny, when I was at Ebby and working with Remington, we had 3 brands. Everything we did was ×3. And it was rough. And one of my favorite things about Michael Saunders is it's one brand. It's so strong. You don't have to explain the name to anybody. We're in southern Florida on the Gulf Coast. So we're on the west part. And we cover from St. Petersburg to just a little bit north of Fort Myers. All along the coast, all of the barrier islands, from Anna Maria Island down to Boca Grande. Average sales price in the upper end now is closer to 2 million. Interestingly, we didn't, with regard to cash, over 65% or close to 65% of our deals are cash, versus Tampa, which is just up the street, and 60% of their transactions are still funded mortgages. So it's very, very different market or whatever. It's beautiful to be down here on the Sun Coast. I don't know, yeah, when we got the questions yesterday, I was
yeah, no, thank you, Randall. And I was just there and saw some beautiful homes near 3rd Street in Naples. Big thanks to Travis and Michael with the T3 Summit. That was an amazing conference down there.
Yeah, Michael and Drayton were down there, I know.
Yeah, we got to hear on one of the panels, I think, actually.
Yep.
Ashley, do you want to introduce yourself? Because you both said the same thing that I want to ask you about.
Sure. I don't remember what I said, so maybe you could give me I just don't remember. But anyways, I'm Ashley Brunick. I'm the VP of Marketing for William Pitt and Julia B. Fee Sotheby's International Realty. We are in Connecticut, Westchester, New York, and the Berkshires, Massachusetts. We have a little under 1,100 agents, 27 offices. I've been with the Sotheby's brand for over 10 years. I love the brand, just the global network, being able to call on anyone from anywhere for assistance and just expertise, and just the heritage and prestige of our brand is just so empowering. I'm also on the call with Vin Sochi. He's our co-president and chief operating officer.
Great, great. Well, you both mentioned ChatGPT and somebody else did further down in one of the questions. And so I just wanted to bring this up. I can see a few people nodding their heads. It was quite a topic that everyone was discussing at the T3 summit last week. And I just would love for you both, because you called it out, to give your perspective on it.
Sure. Randall, do you want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay. So we just started playing with it maybe like 6 weeks ago. We've been using it in marketing a lot to help with social media copy. We can put in like a link to our website and put in a specific prompt, and it can cut it down for the different networks. We're looking in with our web developers to try to find a way to help generate listing detail information, and again, social cuts of that listing information for our agents. We've launched some campaigns, and it's helped us come up with just different taglines and copy, and writing blogs with SEO heavy content keywords. And there was something else. Coming up with different ideas for social media calendars. I mean, we're just scratching the surface with this right now, but it's an amazing time save. I mean, have a background in design. I wouldn't say I'm like an incredibly strong writer. It takes me some time. So it's just helpful to have another like person on our team that we can just reach out to and put in a prompt. And it's a good starting point. Obviously, you need to finesse it and put a human touch to it, but it's been just amazing.
I totally agree. And one of the things that came up in the MarTech session at Leading RE was with ChatGPT or anything, like that becoming an expert prompter is going to be the key. And you just mentioned prompting, but it's like you're going to end up having kids graduating from college with degrees in like expert prompting, So I think that's definitely going to make a big difference. But literally when you said, talking about marketing hacks or whatever too, I was like, we're in the process of redesigning our website right now. We're going to blow it up and turn the old one off and turn a new one on. We've got, 138 communities. And talk about saving time. I'm able to go in, our communications team can take existing copy, paste it in and say, update this copy. And you'll get all this new content. We know what's right and what's wrong. Because that's, of course, one of the other things you've always got to look at too is, we did one time and said, say something about Michael Saunders and her background or whatever. And it said, Michael Saunders is married to Drayton Saunders, who's a physician. Well, that's her son. He's not a physician. He used to run a coffee shop in Chile. So it gets things a little wacky sometimes, but I think it's a really great hack when it comes to saving time. It gives you, I am a writer and I love writing, and it's always like I'll get new words. I was like, that's a great word to use, and I'll just take off and go do my own thing. But what came out of it was something I hadn't thought about. So it's been a really good tool from that standpoint, and we're all kind of leaning into it at various levels. Michael the other day told me she was up till 1:30 in the morning, like working on a script, and she was using ChatGPT, playing around on that for her script. So, I think it's definitely here to stay.
Wow. Well, I'm excited because I don't know if you guys follow our coming soon page on Max's website, but we are launching ChatGPT within Maxa this month. So you'll be able to access ChatGPT through Maxa. It's already working on our end. We're just doing some finessing, making it look prettier. But I would definitely recommend beginning some training on prompts, like you guys said, like having the agents becoming expert prompters, whether it's for social or for listing copy. It's pretty cool, and it works very similar to what you guys are probably using right now.
So that's one of the ways we've been using it. We've talk about history. You guys were saying, we've been doing this for 15 years and whatever. It's like one of the things Michael Saunders has always done is we've always had the best MLS copy, as if that's something you need to have, but we were always known for having like the best copy because it was always done by professional copywriters. And the reality is it's not scalable. We don't need to be doing this. It doesn't matter and so forth. So we only really do it for high-end properties, 3 million and up. Well, we'll go see the property, we'll tell the story and so forth, but we tell agents all the time and they love it. We're like, go to ChatGPT, put in all the details about the property and let that write it. And they're all like, cool, this is great. And they're doing it. And that was a big change because, they're used to, that's one of the services that the company has always provided. But it's not necessary. Now we get to go do other things with copywriters.
I think this is a great example of ChatGPT becoming a utility, not a product, and like putting it inside of Maxis so that your guys' jobs become easier, and then you can automate more of the social media or listing brochures or something like that. It's that 80-20 rule where if you can get 80% of the way there, you still need to put 20% of the lipstick on it yourself. But that scales your marketing and listing coordination services even further. And you can think, having blog templates or having newsletter templates that are different for every individual agent. There's some prompt engineering you could do there, and then use Maxa to design it. That's powerful.
Huge.
Yeah, love that. Sorry, James.
Oh, I think we're gonna move. I kind of want to hear from like either John Rumfo or Janet Pozos from Dora. If you guys want to share some of your go-to marketing hacks, you guys like John, you guys have like a very specific, 50 agents you're working with all under a singular brand and team. And you guys operate like a team brokerage probably. Any hacks that you guys have? I bet, Manny, Pentiga's probably on the same boat there too.
Really we're interesting. We only actually have 20 agents.
Okay.
And I'm glad to hear from the group here because I think I don't know what it is, but we're having our biggest struggle is getting agents to do it themselves. We have trained people for 25 years that we will do everything for you. And so I am curious about all your tricks to sit with we have agents from, young agents to older agents, and it's become a really tough thing to get people to do it themselves. We have some that do, but some that don't. But I think we just started doing ChatGPT about 6 weeks ago as well. And we're doing trainings on that. And I think what I'm trying to do is show them how easy that is, and also how easy using Max is. To try and get them to adopt it. But I think that's the biggest technology tool right now. And just making it easier for photo selection is probably one of our biggest challenges. And I see that it's working better in the platform now, but I don't know. That's just our side is we're just having trouble with getting agents to adopt it. And I don't know for the people that have recently, we've been with Maxa a couple of years now. I'm curious just if there's two tricks that anyone can suggest that I can take that would be helpful. Marketing Mondays is great. I like that idea. But if anyone else has any ideas, I'd love to hear it.
At my previous brokerage, John, the way we did that, and we had a full service design team, a lot like Randall's. I'm more familiar with Randall's setup. Nice to meet you. We made it work because of timing. Agents are notorious for waiting to the last minute. And so if they wanted something fast, then use the platform. And if it wasn't fast, then we were happy to do it for them. But I will tell you, almost always, the speed would trump the other. So we just
I love it.
That's great. Thanks, Michael.
We just
Great.
recently switched to Maxa just a few months ago, but we were kind of evil in the way where we kept our old request system up and operating because we actually were catching. So every time the agent would put the request in with the old system, we would then kindly call them or go by their desk and tell them we have the new system and we could not complete the request. And I'm telling you, marketing is not everyone's favorite right now on our 2 floors in Midtown Manhattan. But it's making our marketing team much happier in the sense where they're like, we are happy to go over and say, oh, you've not logged in yet ever in the past 4 months. Please, and then show them how to, you didn't join any of the 5 trainings that Artin had for the company. So we're getting some evil tiny satisfaction when they're using the old system. And then we're going to them, but we are shutting the old system down at the end of May. So we are in that holding of, hey guys, if you want something, there's only the new way now. And I think real quick, once they realize, we're hoping that they're going to be like, the only way is the new way. That's, we'll see, but I'll take a trick or two also, other than hunting them down. Yeah.
Really
Love
good.
it. Yeah, and James, I've had a couple of people call me just as references, and I of course spoke very highly of Maxa. That's the one thing I conveyed to them was getting the, 60,
you know what's really funny though? We've had 10 new agents start in the last month with us, all very high earning GCI from very large competitors in Manhattan. And do you know that they jumped on it and are like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's actually our homegrown that don't like the change.
No,
so for us, we know it's a
100%.
winning combination. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. So that's kind of my sorry to vent, it's not really on topic, but that's our thing right now. So, and I'm sure others probably feel it too. So I think that not only getting you to be professional prompters in ChatGPT and all of that, but just the tricks and trade to get. I mean, I only have 20 agents. I can't imagine if there were 300 or 1,100 and they weren't using it.
Well, I was just going to ask Janet, I'm not sure if you can hear us, Janet. I love that you said when you answered the question about one-on-one brainstorming with the agents.
Hi, yes. So we have huge door knockers at our company. So I will have agents who come in and they want something new and fresh. And so brainstorming using ChatGPT will come up with a new piece, because our agents literally door knock 5 days a week and they go to the same farm, so they need new pieces. And the beauty of Maxa having the templates, they can easily tweak something to make it look new using ChatGPT. Talking about something recently that happened, our broker is a huge writer, and one thing he really does is anything that happens in the news or locally, we will write something up and we will immediately put it into Maxa or into other systems that we have, like follow up Boston Active Type, for agents to immediately send out. We also, probably not everyone, we have a huge printing press, so we can print everything immediately, high professionally, cut postcards. So Maxa really helps us brainstorm with agents one-on-one. The same day I can create it, I can print it, and they can go hit the doors immediately.
Fantastic. I love that. James, should we move on to the next question?
Yes, and I want to kick it off with one of my favorite people. So we're going to go into tech stacks. I'm just talking about okay, let's just go over a few of the main systems you guys use, maybe the ones that you of course, be honest with each other. You can be as transparent as you want, and some of the things that you use that you find the agents use a lot from the tech stack that you offer. I'm going to kick it off with Vin Sochi, who actually was our longest client in this group. Taylor, I don't know if you know that. Vin, he believed in us back in 2018. He was probably the largest brokerage we ever had, the first Sotheby's, still with us today. I love William Pitt for that. But one thing that always blew my mind was I came from the West Side working with, the West Side's really interesting, where it's like everyone's all about branding, but they're also about, they also don't use technology that much. Compared to the East Side, when I was really impressed with William Pitt's tech stack, how involved they were, how comprehensive they were. And so if you could share with us what you guys are currently offering the agents, and also what you find they're using a lot of, that'd be really cool.
Sure, thanks, James. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I think it was like 2017, actually, almost 6 years.
Yeah, and
uh,
Vin has a new baby like me and Travis, just so you
I didn't
just
realize Travis had a baby as well. Yeah, 2.5 months, and I'm not sleeping Travis, so that's. But you know, Max has been an integral part of our tech stack since 2017, 2018. Email marketing with Active Pipe, that's a product that we utilize as well very heavily. We've our whole idea has been to build an internal ecosystem with a web developer for our intranet, and everything then speaks out to it. So with ActivePipe, Cloud CMA is probably one of the best presentation suites out there from a CMA product. And we're finding best in class and have powered them together. Max has been an integral part to that. And it's just refreshing to see so many new faces and people jumping on board. So kudos to you, James, and your team for all of that. But the ChatGPT and all the rest of that too, we're just scraping the surface, and that's just the start of things like conversational AI. And there's 1,000 different other products out there that are coming out every single month that we're trying to figure out ways to integrate. Besides just even the copywriting aspect of it, it's just going to blow up our space in no time.
Will you share with them a little bit on your use of Okta? Just because I know most brokerages don't use a system like that. I know Taylor does, but most brokerages don't. Maybe you could share a little bit about that. And I don't know if you guys use Agent Icon still or Agent Create, one of those companies, but let's start with Okta, just so that everyone knows what that is as we build out, you know, if they wanted to create a real tech stack, you kind of need a system like Okta to be able to find the best in class and pull it all together versus, you know, the all-in-ones may not be the best in class. And then you're kind of stuck without a system like Okta.
Yeah, we've used Okta for about 7 years now as our identity management SSO. And I mean, you know, when we look, we compete with some of the biggest brokerages in the country. And if you have an agent coming on board and they have to go to 6 different places, re-enter password, they struggle with remembering that one. And so Okta has been just a great resource because we're able to handle our roster and our people, but then work with somebody like James's team and be able to directly integrate one click. That person's into Design Studio or Maxa, they're into any of our other products, and we're able to turn them on, turn them off very simply, and then also control who has access to those different products. So, you know, there's OAuth and a ton of different other solutions. But Okta's turned out to be an incredible investment for us, because if you can't get that agent to the product or that technology partner, then you're not going to see utilization and adoption.
Yeah. I just checked your analytics, Vin. You guys have created over 60,000 designs on Maxa since 2017 or 18. So I was like, whoa, that's insane. And then Taylor from Realty One, you guys got like 10,000 agents or 11,000 or something like that. You guys use one login, right? For your kind of SSO identity management. And how's that going?
We love it. Same thing that Vincent said. If the agent has to remember passwords in a bunch of different places, we know they're not going to log in, right? So they can go to one login for their one password and get into all of our systems. And then what our team's really focused on is then taking all of our tech partners and trying to feed the data along them. So right, we feed our listing into Maxa, and then Maxa feeds the creative once it's created into our print partner. And then we're looking at other integrations like our review platform, maybe pushing back over to the website for emails. So trying to make sure that the data just keeps flowing back and forth throughout our partners, and the agent doesn't have to like manually really do much.
Huge. And what are some of the other tech solutions you're providing the agents other than Maxa?
Our top ones, Maxa is one of the top because it's creative. So we have a very strong brand. It's what attracts people and agents to our company. So having Maxa is a game changer for us. And we only integrated with you guys nationwide a year ago, but it's been going really well. We also offer, you know, IDC websites and CRM. Reviews are we have a partnership with Rate My Agent. So that's a heavy hitter partner. And that's, I mean, those are our top 3. We offer about 12 other solutions, but just average adoption across those others.
Awesome. Yeah. Who here has a testimonial review management platform, whether it's Rate My Agent, Real Satisfied, Testimonial Tree.
Yeah.
Maybe like Manny, if you don't have a system like that, but I think the earlier the better. John, Jeanette, like it's good to set something up, and we integrate with pretty much all of them. We're working on something with Rate My Agent with Realty One so that we can make it available to all our clients. They're a little hesitant because they have a free model that if they integrate with us would kind of make it hard for them to want to upgrade. So, but we're working on them. But yeah, I would highly recommend. I think, Testimonial Tree is great. The Rate My Agent is great. They're all and just so you know, Vin, Taylor's catching up. She's at Realty One's at 45,000 designs created so far. So they're gonna catch up.
We have an agent count advantage. As a single brokerage, you would be beating our brokerages for sure.
I'd love to, sorry, go ahead, Taylor.
I was gonna add one other comment that I was thinking of earlier from earlier conversations that people were saying is I focus a little bit differently since I'm a franchisor and I'm not so hands-on inside the brokerage, but we've always been more of a you run your own business. So the opposite of what Pam was saying, right? And like, you need to adopt these tools and you need to learn how to do it for your business, because we're not going to do all those marketing things for you. We have a small marketing team that is really good at building a brand, but like Maxa offers the templates, really easy, click and do it yourself. So we're seeing, it's always a struggle to get the agent to do it, right? We have tips and how to continually showcase what other agents are doing to inspire them, have training always available and on demand. We have this system called eWebinar where the agents think that it's a recording of Brooke providing the training every 15 minutes. And they say, thank you for your time today. And it's not Brooke, it's a recording of her. But we're seeing a shift in our brokerages where now the different offices are offering more of a concierge program, and some of it's monetized, some of it's not. But for our higher end listings, the marketing manager in that office is creating the designs in Maxa for the agent.
Nice.
So Max has enabled us to be able to do that.
That's kind of going back to what Travis was talking about of like the coordinating side. Like
Yeah.
maybe it is something they pay for to coordinate and create those marketing packages, or they do it themselves. We are launching, I think this month, for sure next month, a new marketing do it for you e-commerce platform. It was a request from another client that isn't here, but it's going to be available to everyone, where it's utilizing our swag store, but converting it into the ability to just buy a marketing package. So it'd be like, oh, I got this new listing, 1000 Main Street. I want to buy marketing package A, which is like the standard, or I can buy marketing package Luxe, and it's like a more expensive version. And then someone on your guys' team just goes in, uses the templates to create the package and save it for them. Obviously, that's not as cool as our automated listing packages that's going to come out too. But it's kind of based on just giving options of what the brokerages want to offer their agents.
Yeah, I love that. I love all the advancements. Your coming soon page is my favorite because it's the ideas of everyone on this call, right?
Yeah.
Coming alive.
That's all we do is wait. It's just, we listen, and then we kind of pick out the one that would make the biggest impact. And also the ones that, based on how long they take, like the video editor. Oh my God, it's taking forever, but it's in Brooke's hands now. She knows it's working. And so we just have to give her approval, Katie's approval, and then we can get our first beta on their hands on the video, which it's funny. Vin didn't even know about it until I talked to him about it. It's coming out very soon. Let's go into Manny. I want to bring you in. So you've got about, I don't even know your size, maybe 100 agents or so based in Manhattan?
Not yet. I'm in the Bronx, just north of Manhattan. I got about close to 50 agents, and we cover Bronx, mostly Westchester and Connecticut. We just got licensed. So hello, everybody. I'm Manny Pantiga with Pantiga Group.
Yes, you got a beautiful brand. And what's fun about yours is you have like a modern take on a new brokerage. Like you're really coming at it as a modern broker. What was your initial like tech stack that you launched with? What are you finding the agents are really like to use that you guys are providing from the brokerage?
So a couple of things that I want to add. Number one was the kind of hack, and I don't know that I have any shortcut to anything, but where I've seen that we've had good success with Maxa is in telling the agents, like, you're able to tell your story. We have a couple of folks here from Westchester, from Connecticut, from Manhattan, which is a highly competitive as far as folks putting a type of message out there. So you can tell your story, you can get to market with a lot of these listings, a lot of these open houses quickly, efficiently, and in a manner which is going to make your personal brand recognizable. And it gives them a sense of autonomy. And obviously, because they're built in the studio, our brand is built within the guardrails of my brand. But the big emotional move for us it's, again, smaller brokerage. I'm almost hard pressed to be talking in this group, but thank you for giving me an audience. But it is about, hey, you gotta tell your story. You gotta tell your story consistently. You gotta speak to your base regularly and in a manner which is recognizable. The issue with the other platforms is that one day you have one color, another day you have one typeface. Right now, you're telling your story. You're telling, collectively, we're telling a story, and that's really getting a lot of engagement. Another thing that we're doing as far as tech stack is we use KV Core, and we have about 60, close to 60% engagement adoption for our CRM. And what we're doing is we're building the email marketing, again, without flavor, without colors, without stuff, and able for them, they're able to plug that into, instead of just the templated type of email, which is, sometimes if you're in the same on the same email list from two agents from the same firm, you're getting the same stuff. So for agents to be able to, again, tell their story has been really helpful and engaging, because actually I'm looking at somebody's screen right now and they have mics opened up.
That's awesome.
I think, just to follow on from Manny said, I don't think it matters the size of your brokerage, right? You said, Manny, about consistency, and I've heard that from Taylor and Remington. You've both said that to me before. I've heard it from big brokerages. It's always about consistency for agents, the brand, and the brokerage overall, right?
100%.
And so I just wanted to ask, there's been a lot of talk about great tech stacks, but James, one of the main things everyone replied back to was Asana and Trello. And nobody said that on this call yet. Everyone's nodding their heads. It's like, Remington, you use Trello, and I know a lot of other people use Asana.
So who here uses Asana? Okay, Taylor, Ashley. Okay, who uses Trello? Pam, Remington, Karina. Okay, nice. Yeah, Brooke is the queen of Asana at Maxa. She just redid our entire Asana too. I mean, we would be lost without it. So I totally get it. Let's talk about that. So how do you guys utilize Asana or Trello into your overall workflow in your operations? Let's kick it off with.
I can share.
Let's go. Yes, Ashley.
So the way that we're situated is we have a corporate office of 5 marketing individuals and then a PR vice president. And then we have marketing coordinators in each of our offices. So this, for Asana right now, it's really just the corporate team. But every single task that we are working on goes through Asana. Everything is managed through there. Proofs are sent through there. Timelines are set. People can reallocate work to different people if they're overloaded. And I have an overview of what everyone's working on. We used to work with Monday, which was great, but then we just wanted a little more flexibility with Asana, which is why we switched over. And it's just been the automations that are a part of it. It's just so great to keep us organized so nothing falls through the cracks, because as I'm sure all of you know, there's like 1,000 things going on at all times. They'll send you alerts. You can see exactly what's on your plate for today, tomorrow, anything that's past due. It's a great way to stay organized.
Love it. Let's see.
Well,
what
so
about-
Remington and chose Trello, and Randall, I know you said you use Monday, which Ashley just mentioned. Wondering why you both use something different to Asana.
I can speak for Monday. One of the main reasons we ended up selecting it, and I don't remember now if Asana does this or not, but the billing aspect, because we have a concierge division under marketing. And so we have to track those hours, and then that syncs with accounting. And so those bills go into accounting directly through Monday. So in looking at the various platforms, that one really just seemed to make the most sense. It was the easiest for us to work into all of our existing systems and that sort of thing. I do like Monday in that we're using it for a lot more than just traffic and production. Now we're literally putting in, social media calendars and plans and campaigns, and here's what's coming up. And, we as managers, as the marketing management team, we can go in and see exactly what is the social media team planning for next month? What's on there? Have we started this and that sort of thing? So in addition to keeping up with, just day to day, what's hot. Which I know you guys know that have been on Monday or whatever. So I can tell you that's really sort of what tipped the scale, was the ability to integrate with accounting and make it easy for the concierge team to also work with everybody within the marketing department.
I have a question. This is John from Vegas. We use Teamwork. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that.
Yeah, we consider.
Yeah, and I used it in my past life when I thought it was good, but I'm kind of always wondering if I should change. But one of my biggest questions is, do you have other departments using this? So like I brought it in mainly for marketing, but I wanted, going back to the start of this whole call, was all the coordination. So listing coordinator on our team uses it. But I could really not get escrow, transaction coordinator to use it. So we don't have everyone using it. I'm just curious from this group if it's just marketing, or do you have other departments that use the same thing? Because I don't know how they do it if they don't use it. I'd be lost without it.
For us, it's just within the marketing team, and it's a real pain point because agents want to know where their project stands. So
Yeah.
It comes up a lot.
Okay.
So we've been looking at ways to just make it available to like sales leaders, and at least if an agent in their office is upset, the sales leader could go in and look and see what's going on. But there's a lot of problems with that as well. So
Yeah, ours is just marketing team as well. We haven't scaled
okay.
it to anyone else.
Well, Remington, what about you with Trello? In answer to John's question.
So for us, marketing is definitely on it. IT uses it. The facilities management group to some extent uses Trello just whenever we open a new office, making sure all the ducks are in a row, where, building signage stands, things like that. But Trello in general, I don't know if I'm the only one here using Trello, but it's been fantastic. And admittedly, I don't have any experience with Asana or Monday or anything like that. But the main thing that was appealing to us and Trello is just the way their system works, and you move these cards through various columns. We hooked it up to JotForm, created a custom website really for project requests, and now I don't know, 95% of all projects come through this create.ebby.com website. And as soon as somebody fills out a request, it's automatically populated in Trello in kind of an intake column. And then it gets moved to design direction, copywriting assistance, final review, client review, stuff like that. And we have, on any given day, quite literally hundreds of projects in this system. And it's really been the only solution on our end that doesn't just make us all insane. Myself as the creative director, I can look and see, make sure things are consistent. where things stand in the design process. But one hurdle for us has always been, the agents, they don't know what the message is. They don't know what they want to say. They just know they want something. And so trying to integrate with copywriters or the wordsmiths, as we call them on my end, this has really been the only viable solution that we've had or that we've found. It's been a game changer for us.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're having some really sophisticated conversations about like overall, just not only the tech that we provide the agents, but internally, our team's going to take this recording. We're going to do a full write-up of everything that we talked about and send it back to you guys, so you guys have it. Because I'm like, oh, what was it? It was transaction marketing, internal sales. I'm trying to remember all the coordinating things that Travis brought up, all the tools that we talked about. We're gonna take the recording, write it up. Luke will manage it and then send it back to you guys so you have it. Yeah. I know we're out of time. I do want to get just like 2 or 3 takeaways from this call and what we learned from it. We can kick it off with Pam from Elegrin. What some takeaways, putting you on the spot. And then we'll jump back in. Maxwell is trying to host more of these to build our community of marketing brokerages and brands together. So you'll get another invite one of these days, because we love hearing from you and love seeing your faces.
I mean, I don't mind being put on the spot, but yeah, I mean, what you said would kind of be a key takeaway for me. I know I work in Manhattan, but I work in a bubble. And so being able to have this type of platform, I live in Greenwich, for all you Connecticut brokerages. So would love to say hi in person. But being able to have this takeaway stuff, I grabbed probably 3 really great ideas that you all said. That's a huge takeaway for me. Because I'm always needing to find new ways to invent what marketing is doing and how we're supporting all of our advisors. And I know they may not always be new ideas, but they're ideas that people have heard that we can then put new spins on. So for me, that's huge. The other takeaway for me is understanding the tech stacks and what everyone is doing. We just put in a whole new tech stack. Always interested in hearing all of that. Sometimes from the CEO, it doesn't maybe get to me, but we're the ones doing all the work. So I love hearing what everyone's doing. So those would be the key takeaways for me. But Luke, and James, I'd love to see this as a regular thing. I do this with Forbes Global Properties. We're a Forbes Global Property brokerage, and we do the same thing with that around the world. This is, you can't put money on this, because this is information you wouldn't get elsewhere. So thank you.
Oh, awesome, Pam.
Thank you, Pam.
What about Karina, real quick, takeaway?
Oh my gosh, I have notes and notes. All of y'all, thank you so much for sharing your insight. Like, this is super valuable. I agree. Can't put money on it. I think let's see, a good one. Even something simple, this is not really one of the tools, but I think Travis was talking about the 80-20 rule and 80% of it being done, 20% put the lipstick on. We need to tell our agents that, because I think they really do sometimes expect us to give them the 100%. And we give them a 110 most of the time, but I think sometimes we need to be more efficient. So that was one of my big notes. But the let's see. Oh, the e-webinar, taking a live training from a recording and making the agents think that that's ongoing. I thought that was super cool and something that would be super helpful for us. Using ChatGPT to update community guides on our website. Super excited for that to launch in Maxa so soon, but the notes go on for days. I'm super grateful to have been invited on this and to be a part of this Maxa community. So thanks so much.
Aw, thanks, guys. All right, well, we're losing people left and right. Thank you so much for joining us. Sometimes I'm thinking, should we do this longer? But it's always hard to manage the difference. How far can we go deeper? But I think me and the team will figure out, how do we keep this group together? Because we can build on what we've been talking about and see how we can further develop our workflows, our tech stacks, and marketing. For now, you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Have a wonderful week. I'm going to get back to my baby. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys.
Thank
We
you.
got some behemoths in this group.
Thank you, James.
All right, take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.